Whoa, what up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the SATS Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. What's up, everybody? We have Carl now. What up, Carl? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Carl. Paul, Fine Times. What up, Paul? What up, Paul? What up, Fine Times? What up, Carl? Good to see you guys in here. All right, Garrett. What up, Garrett? Thanks for tuning in. Hi to everyone. I might be only Englishman living in Italy. Ooh, that's awesome. Guys, where are you from? I'm guessing America. We have some people in here from actually different walks of the world, which is pretty interesting. We have Carlos from Ecuador. We have I think Hard Huddle might be in the Philippines part-time. We have Paul, I think, is in Europe. So we have a pretty mixed group. It's pretty good. I'm the good old USA for now. We'll see where we end up, right? Alrighty. So today is Wednesday, halfway through the week, and we're still stacking sats. Today Bitcoin is up. It's pretty good. Let's go check out the sat strength. See what it's doing. All right, today the price of Bitcoin is whoa, my browser ain't working now. There we go. Let's do this. There it is. Today the price of Bitcoin is $65,876.27. Whew. We're back, baby. We're back. Okay. Slow and steady, right? No matter what the price is, we're stacking our previously agreed to amount on our set frequency, and the price is going to do what the price does, and we're just going to continue to buy our normal dollar cost average, Bitcoin cost average, however you want to call it. You've already committed to buy a certain amount of Bitcoin every single day, every single week, every single month, whatever your frequency is. Stick with it, and over time, as the price of Bitcoin goes up, you become wealthier and wealthier just by doing nothing but saving in Bitcoin, taking custody of that Bitcoin, and living. Okay, today you can buy 1,518 Satoshis for a single dollar. What is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin, just like a dollar has 100 cents. A Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. Okay, you don't have to go buy one Bitcoin right now all at once and pay $65,858. No, you can buy a fraction of that Bitcoin. Those fractions are called Satoshis. So you're walking down the street, minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you could have, let's see, good luck, and 15 Satoshis. For one penny, you can buy 15 Satoshis today. Okay, all right. So that is the set strength. That is the purchasing power of Bitcoin. Okay, as we continue to run through the show, about a year ago we're buying 39 to 40 Satoshis for a single penny, and now we're only getting about 15. Okay, so slow and steady, stack it, and your purchasing power will increase over time. All right, so that is the stat strength. Let's jump into why we stack. All right, this is a little inspirational music here going on, reminding you that. Man, I saw this video this weekend or this week where they break down how. You guys seen the movie The Big Short? They talk about how the banking system works and how they package and repackage different loans with different risks, and they kind of sell it, and in the end you don't even know what you're buying as somebody that's investing in all these different loan types or loan packages, I guess you could say. And if you've seen the movie what's called what's that movie called? Big Short. It's a pretty cool movie. Kind of helps explain what happened during The Big Short, and you can see that it's. I think it's happening again. Honestly, right? You have these banks that are committed to all these loans, and the people that are supposed to pay back those loans are starting to default, and in the end, the banks are going to get left holding the bag, holding that debt. And Jesus, there's a lot of banks out there that are going to crash. There's like from what I've been kind of looking into and videos I've been watching, there's over 1,800 banks that have been taking it's kind of like a government subsidy, which is kind of like, it was like a loan to stay solvent since Silicon Valley crashed a while back, like about a year ago, right? The government created this package that that banks were encouraged to take, assuming that by now, a year later, the interest rate would be down, right? And those banks would be able to refinance that debt and pay back, right? Well, what's happened is we're supposed to have 4 rate cuts this year, right? We're already in May and there's still no rate cuts. So these banks that borrowed money from the government to stay afloat, assuming that the rate cuts were coming, now are on the hook for the money they borrowed plus interest. Okay, and it's hard to identify what part of the year they took those loans, right? But like I think the last day you could take advantage of that loan, which was I think on the 10th of this month. So anywhere between back when Silicon Valley crashed and the 10th of this month, the 9th of this month, these banking institutions could have taken advantage of that 1 year long, loan, right? And so the way it breaks down is, it's anticipated that some of the banks that took the loan early, right after Silicon Valley, are now kind of in the hole, the money they were in the hole before, plus the interest. So we're going to start seeing a lot more banks crashing, right? And with that, a lot more, I guess, money printing, right? Because when banks crash, the government will come through and repossess, or not repossess, but take over the bank and sell its assets, accounts, and all that stuff to a bigger bank and guarantee the assets in the failing bank to the newer bank, backed up by basically issuing it's basically a different way of creating more money, right? So as these banks crash, they won't let them just go out. They won't let them just go bankrupt. They will go in there, take them over, and push that over to basically a bigger bank. And you have, in essence, the consolidation of a bunch of little banks. It's going to consolidate into a bunch of bigger banks. The bigger banks are going to get bigger. And in that process, you have a whole lot more money creation, right? And as that money creation happens, your savings in dollars will continue to debase, right? So I know it's a sad outlook. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. It's a sad outlook. I'm sorry to be kind of a downer today, but just be ready, right? The one thing you can do to be ready is just stack Bitcoin. Okay, it's not a matter of if the dollar's gonna crash at this point. It's not a matter of if if the government's going to continue to print money, they're going to do it. The dollar is already, it's like a walking dead. Okay, it's walking dead. So take whatever value you can, save it in Bitcoin, and as they continue to try to keep the economy afloat by printing all this extra money or issuing credit to these institutions that are going to take over the failing banks, that'll work in your favor. It'll make your stack worth more and increase your purchasing power over time. And it's really the only thing you can do. It's a bad outlook or a SAT outlook. What if I that's right, it's a SAT outlook, right? It's a sad outlook if you're not. It's a sad outlook if you're not in Bitcoin. Okay? If you're in Bitcoin, all this money printing, it's to your benefit, right? Because you have a harder asset. And it's just the way it works, right? So just to wrap it up and to make it a little bit more clear and easier to have the one phrase of why we stack. We stack because saving in Bitcoin is like giving ourselves a perpetual retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold that Bitcoin. Okay? And so today, as you'll see, we've been stacking for a while, almost a year. And I confirmed it is pizza day on the 22nd. That's pretty awesome. All right. So let's that's why we stack. That's why we stack. Okay? Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple. Okay? Let's jump into stack recap, and then we can do some talk about other stuff during the Q&A section. But let's just jump into stack recap. Stack recap. All right. We don't only talk about stacking sats here and get all pessimistic about the dollar or any other government money. We actually save it in Bitcoin every Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard, 5 p.m. Eastern. We're here buying Bitcoin. We started buying Bitcoin back on Pizza Day, May 22nd, 2023. We started with $5 buys, and now we're doing $20 buys, but we're buying every day, okay? Every weekday. So there is a chart. Our current holdings are 15.9 million Satoshis, 0.159 Bitcoin. Our stack is currently up about 68%. In other words, we've spent $6,231 to buy 0.159 Bitcoin. If we're to buy the same Bitcoin today, it would cost us 68% more dollars because the dollars are weaker now than they were in the past. If we just started stacking with us this year, we started tracking our stack again just for 2024 buys. And in that, we bought about $2,747 worth of Bitcoin. In other words, 5.2 million Satoshis. And again, we spent $2,747. But if we were to buy the same amount of Bitcoin today, we'd have to spend another 25% more. Weaker dollars to buy the same amount of Bitcoin, 3,441. When the price of Bitcoin is above our average buy price, we buy $20 worth. If the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price for 2024, then we will buy a double stack, which is $40 worth. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $65,906, so we're going to buy a $20 stack. Okay, that is what we're going to do for our DCA. Today, $20. We've also have a side project going on. We call it the 100 Stacks Challenge, baby. It's based on the 100 envelopes challenge that's popular on TikTok. The way it works is if you take 100 envelopes, you number them 1 through 100, and then you put whatever dollar amount each envelope number is, one per day for 100 days, you end up saving $5,050 in cash, like a Neanderthal caveman. Just kidding. So we took that idea. We thought it was a good idea to inspire people to save, and instead of stacking stacks of actual bills like fiat money, we took that same concept and we called it 100 stacks. That means that every day for 100 days you buy a little bit of Bitcoin. Depending on the number of the day, that's how much Bitcoin you buy. So today, for example, it's we did 49 already, so we'll be doing 48. So we could buy $48 today or $17 today, and we'll leave it up to you guys to decide once we get to that purchasing step. Okay, but the way it works is you buy one line per day, and you don't skip any days. It doesn't matter what order you do them in. If you're flush for cash, you want to do the higher numbers, you could do the $49 buy, the $48 buy. If you're getting close to pay period and you're not going to make that, and you're trying to make it to the next pay period, then only stack the lower amount, right? But the point is you're stacking every day, okay? This one includes weekends, okay? So we are 33 days left. We have 33 days left in our stack, and we have made a crazy comeback. We were down about 10%, minus 10%, minus 8% on our stack from the time when we started. And this last pump up to 65,000 has put us into the striking distance of breaking even with 33 days left. So that's a good sign. Very happy about that. And let's see how far above just holding the money would we be if we since we're saving in Bitcoin instead. Okay, we'll see that in about 33 days. So stay tuned for that. We keep updating these every episode. All right. So with that said, now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy for each of the two stacking projects, there's only one thing left to do, and that is it's time to stack some SATS. All right. So today we're stacking SATS over on Swan Bitcoin. If you don't have a Swan account, you should consider checking one out, because today, right now, they're doing a promotion where you can get your first or your next, if you're already a customer, your next $10,000 worth of Bitcoin fee free. So they're not going to charge you a transaction fee for when you do your purchase, right? Up until you spend about $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. Are you stacking or are you slacking? Let's go. All right. So $20 for our first buy of the day. I'm going to shift this over here. Boom. Preview. Next week on Wednesday will be Pizza Day. It'll also be the show's 1-year anniversary. So make sure you come back and tune in. I'm going to order a pizza. And I'll just be eating pizza all episode. What kind of pizza should we get for our 1-year anniversary here at the show? Let me know. What kind of pizza should we get? I'd say, Boltar, are you going to celebrate Pizza Day with us? Boltar says, a fool and their Bitcoin will soon part ways. Don't poop coin. He's passionate. What up? Leonard in the house. Round of applause from our live studio audience for Leonard. And Hard Huddle. What up, Hard Huddle? Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, I'm just getting my notes up, guys. My bad. There's one note there. There's one note here. All right. I have my note. Now I'm going to pop this in here. Do the actual buy. Here we go. Buying $20 worth of Bitcoin today for the Stack SATS show. Today's episode 219. Wow. Episode 219. There it goes. All right, it's thinking about it. Let's give it some more drums. Boom. And just like that, it looks like it is happening. We're able to buy today an additional 299 Satoshis were stacked because we didn't have to pay the fees. I'll take it. Pretty dang awesome. And once we stack, we turn on the chill music. Oh yeah. While that's resetting, while that's cooling off and getting ready for the next buy, let's see what the next buy is going to be of, or how much the next buy will be. Start a poll. 100 stacks amount. $14 or 40 $8. Is that right? No, $17. Oops. $17 or $49 today. That's what it is. All right. Start the poll. Let the people decide how we shall stack. Satoshi liked pineapple. You did? I like pepperoni. I like pineapple. I like the best with gorgonzola, pear, and walnuts. Ooh. That sounds really good. That's like a margarita style pizza, right? Damn, that's fancy. Fine times. That is a fine recipe. That's a fine pizza. Those are some fine pizza toppings. Sounds really good, actually. Delicious. You guys are nuts. I think the only person voting for 17 is Carlos. Let's go, Carlos. Team. All right. The poll is about to conclude. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. See. And just like that, with 5 votes, 60% of the vote is for $49 buy-in today. So the people have spoken. Today, we will stack the $49 line of the 100 stacks challenge. 49 bucks. Here it is. It's queued up. Get the preview going here. And then we shall stack it. Shall stack it. There's 49 bucks. All right, there it is. I have it locked in. I have it queued up. And there it is. Stacking $49 worth. Buying $49 worth of Bitcoin straight up, no fees. No fees when we buy it and no fees when we withdraw it to our self-custody. So it's pretty good. We're really digging into that $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, worth of fee-free Bitcoin stacks. We're making our way. We're making our way. You know? And then you look at the. Oh, there it goes. It's going. How many extra Bitcoin did we get? How many extra Satoshis did we get by stacking with Swan today? Because we're not paying the fees. 734 additional Satoshis that would normally go to the wayside because we have to pay the fees. Well, today we stacked an additional 734 Satoshis for our stack, for the 100 stacks challenge. Just like that. Celebration, boys. See, it's very doable. McLovin in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience for McLovin. Good to see you in here, sir. I put 17-2, bro. Don't worry. I know. Oh my gosh. I know. That's okay. It's part of the fun. It's part of the fun. It's part of the games. I have been selling things because it's a don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not made out of money. Okay, it's a struggle for me as well to stack the 100 stacks challenge. At least right now, I am through the hardest part, which is like the bigger numbers, right? Like stacking like $100 a day, basically, right? That was hard. That was hard. I had to sell a bunch of stuff, right? And like now it's done, right? I'm in like the lower numbers, but still it's hard. It's saving an additional $5,095. It's a big adjustment, you know. Like even for me, I'm not made of money, guys. It's a big adjustment for me. I'm pushing it. I'm struggling to make this 100 stacks challenge work. And we're also doing the regular DCA, okay? So, but there's things I can still do to make that bread, to make that to make that cheddar, to make that cheddar, right? Let's see. See some of the stuff I'm doing on the side, so that I can stack a little harder, right? I make these sweaters, right? I sell these Bitcoin stuff on bitcoinerscloset.com. That's my store, right? And I make like the stack against the machine shirt. That's my original design, right? And I make all these other random stuff, right? Pins and stuff and hats. And I'm probably gonna make more designs because I need to figure out a way to scrounge up more cash so I can continue the show, right? I also have like a fishing channel, right? Where I fish, where I've been kind of trying to fish, but this thing really messed up my fishing content, right? But I'm selling these flags, right? These flags are for sale on my fishing channel, shop.romancaster.com, right? I have a bunch of fishing shirts on there. Every little bit helps, right? Every single little bit helps, right? The goal here is to stay motivated and find different ways to make a little bit of extra cash on the side, to work a little extra overtime. Like, unfortunately, I'm on salary, so I can't do overtime, right? But I can do these side things, right? If you don't want to go crazy and set up a shop to sell something, you can still sell stuff on like OfferUp, right? Even though I've been selling stuff from my garage for a while, I still have a bunch of stuff that I don't use, right? And when the times get hard, like when the price was down at like in the 60s, you know, you get a little extra motivation to stack a little harder when the price is down, because you're like, man, this is like cheap SATS, and you get a little bit extra more motivation, and you think to yourself, well, you know, I thought I needed this thing, but do I really need it, right? And that threshold of I'm gonna keep this thing or I'm gonna sell this thing, you know, fluctuates, right? And like for me right now, like I'm selling a bunch of stuff. I'm still selling a bunch of stuff. I still have over my lifetime, I guess, have accumulated a lot of I'm gonna call it junk, right? I've accumulated a lot of stuff from different hobbies that I've done, that I've taken up, and maybe I bought stuff for that hobby, and I don't do that hobby anymore, or I'm not interested in doing that hobby anymore. But that stuff has just been sitting there because I might use it again, because I might get back into that hobby, right? Well, instead, this is what I've been saying in the past. Like, maybe I need to sell more stuff. I've sold a bunch of my stuff, keeping like just like the things that I really use, I guess, right? But I need to tighten the belt even harder. Okay, I need to tighten the belt even harder right now that Bitcoin is still in the 60s, right? And so do whatever it takes to cook at home, to sell some stuff, to create a project, create a product, create a service that you can do to stack a little harder, right? Because it takes me all the way back to my original breakdown of why we stack. Saving in Bitcoin is like giving yourself a perpetual retroactive raise for the stuff you have in your house. Right? Those things you have in your house that you're holding on to that are just taking up space, they're not appreciating as fast as Bitcoin. So sell that stuff, buy the Bitcoin, free yourself of that, having to custody that, having to hold that thing, having to pay rent for that thing, right? Put it into Bitcoin, watch the price of those Satoshis go up. And as you go, as the thing that you sold goes, as Satoshis that represent the thing you sold go up in value, if you decide to get back into that thing where you need the thing you sold, you can always buy it later. You could probably buy a better version of it in the future that's brand new and working, instead of having something sitting there that's old, falling apart, taking up space, cutting into your potential Bitcoin profits, right? Mr. Android in the house, what up? Sell them. That's right. 100K this year. Just saying. Let's go. I agree. Just saying. Non-financial advice. Do your own research and all that stuff. But if you look at the banking system, man, they're gonna have to print. Absolutely have to print. Okay? There's no way they don't print more. Okay? And when they print more, your stock gets more valuable, you get more wealthy, your purchasing power goes up, you can buy the same things you've bought before in terms of Bitcoin for less Satoshis. Okay? We always go back to this. Let's end it on this. The SATS show, Burrito Index, shows that since October 2023, when my burrito used to cost me 49,000 Satoshis, today my burrito costs me 20,000 Satoshis. That's a 58% discount on something that I have once a week or so. I haven't been keeping up to date with it. But this number here is how many Satoshis it would cost to buy that burrito. When the burrito cost $13.70. In October, it cost me 49,000 Satoshis, and today it'll cost me 20,000 Satoshis to buy those things. Okay? Milk, when we started tracking it, it was costing me 25,500 Satoshis. Now it's costing me 10,500 Satoshis. Okay? So, over time, as you save in Bitcoin, your purchasing power increases, and you'll have to pay less and less of your free time, less and less of your labor hours for the things that you buy day to day. Okay? If I was making, let's just say I was making $13.70 an hour in October, then buying a burrito would cost me 1 hour of my life at $13.70. If I took that $13.70 and bought Bitcoin with it instead, what was it, 10, 11, 12, 5 months later, or yeah, however long later now, 6 months later, it's costing me 58% less Bitcoin. Sorry, yeah, 58% less Bitcoin. Therefore, instead of me paying 1 hour worth of my life, I'm paying about 25 minutes worth of my life for that burrito. In terms of Bitcoin, in terms of dollar, it's still costing me the same. But that just goes to show you that it doesn't matter what your pay rate is. Just start putting something into Bitcoin, because as you do that, that value will continue to appreciate over time. And so you don't have to do anything else but buy it, take custody of it, so it's outside of the control of everybody else and it's only within your control. And that's it. It's going to naturally increase in value as for just holding it. You don't have to do anything else. All you got to do is hold it. Okay? And once you have your stack started, once you're holding some Bitcoin, then now you understand the value of it. Then you get to go crazy. Then you get to go full stackopath. Once you understand the value, once you understand what's happening, you shift over. Your mind changes. Your mind shifts to the idea of like, whoa, man, if I were to have not bought that Starbucks, right? I've been buying not saying that I have, but I'm saying I could have been buying Starbucks every day for every weekday. Go to work, on the way to work, pick up some Starbucks, and however much it costs, $5. We'll say $5, okay, for a Starbucks. And in the end, you have your little coffee buzz, your sugar that you didn't need in your system, your diabetes, right? You're having first thing in the morning, you're having sugar and caffeine that you don't need, setting you up for diabetes, wrecking your health. And also you're spending that $5, it just kind of goes away. You drink it and it's done, right? Whereas you take the same amount of money, $10 every 2 days, bought Bitcoin with it, right? And skip breakfast, did some intermittent fasting, didn't eat till like 12, your first meal, so your body could continue to heal after it woke up, right? And you're ahead. You're starting to get that first. Even if you did it for a year, right? If you did it for the year, this last year, it would be the same. It'd be the same performance as we had so far, right? Right there, simple. you'd be up 68% on your coffee money today, right? Not to mention however many calories that was that you didn't consume, however much extra sugar that you didn't consume, right? Fasting is greater than breaking fast. That's very true, Mr. Android. Shout out. That's exactly true. Fasting is better than breaking the fast. But I mean, to a certain point. Like I got to a point. I do. And then we're gonna get into something different today, right? Are we already at the end of the song list? Wow. Wow, I didn't realize we're already at the end of the song list. Anyway, let's go into Q&A, guys, because I'm kind of rambling. But let's talk about that, right? Once you start saving in Bitcoin, you start to understand that it takes. You start to measure everything else you could do with your money in terms of how many sats that could be. Right? You start measuring like, okay, well, I could go on this vacation and it's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be super fun. But that's a lot of sats. You know? Like the cost. And I'm sorry if you're excited and you're going to a Bitcoin party here coming up this year or whenever, okay? But honestly, if you don't have one Bitcoin already, you shouldn't be going to having parties or whatever, or Bitcoin conventions, or you shouldn't be doing that. Straight up, like nobody's telling you that. Everybody's excited for you. Everybody's happy for you that you're going to the thing. But if you don't have one Bitcoin, you are messing up. Okay, you are slacking. You are straight up slacking. Okay, and I know people are gonna say, no, it's cool. It's the camaraderie and everything. I get it. But if you're not at one Bitcoin, you shouldn't be doing that. Okay, if you're at one Bitcoin, do what you want. You earned it, right? But still, you stack hard. What up, J-Dub in the house? Welcome, J-Dub. Just lecturing people, getting angry. But I think about it all the time. It's like the cost of admission plus the cost of getting there, right? Man, for that many satoshis, I wonder how much that'll end up being. That'll end up being in a year, right? In 2 years, Like I almost feel like I should do my Amazon checkout thing that I do with whenever I want to spend some money on Amazon. I'm excited about a new hobby. I'm excited about getting something on Amazon. I go, okay, how much is this hobby going to cost me? I go through and I buy. No, I don't buy. I go through and I put all the stuff that I want for that hobby in my Amazon cart, right? I basically fantasy shop. And I say, okay, I need this thing for that. Okay, I need that thing for that. I need this thing. It's like, oh wow, if I want to get into this hobby, it's going to cost me this much money. That's a lot of money. So what I'll do is then I'll just take the amount of my cart and spend that money on Bitcoin instead. And then down the road, I won't have a garage full of crap that I'm not going to use because I thought I wanted to start this new hobby. Or I did do a hobby, but it wasn't as fun as I thought it would be, or for whatever reason, I don't pursue it anymore. I won't have a bunch of stuff in my garage that I don't need, right? So anyway, I just talking about myself on that front, guys. But it's a similar concept, except for when you buy stuff, you can at least sell that stuff later, make some of that money back. But when you go to events, that event comes and goes, it's done, right? So don't get me wrong, if the experience might be worth it to you, it's good. But if you're not at one Bitcoin, you shouldn't be going on these excursions. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. If you disagree, that's all right. We're not supposed to always 100% agree on everything. It's just me dropping some of my thoughts, I guess I could say. Right. All right. Q&A section. You guys have any questions? Put it in the chat. Any comments would be great. If you're watching the replay and you have a question about Bitcoin, about stacking sats, about self-custody, about setting up a wallet, any of those things, all you got to do is ask a question in the chat or leave a message, a comment if you're watching a replay. And I will come through and answer your question directly, or maybe even do a presentation on the next episode to help you and help out the people that maybe are not asking that same question but have the same question in mind. All right. So, man, so it was a good stream today, guys. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Let's start to wrap this up. Oh, yeah. All right. It was a good day to stack. Keep stacking. The price is going to go up. The price is going to go down. But it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that the number of Satoshis that you have in custody continues to go up. I disagree. People from the other countries have a much harder time getting to. Okay, that makes sense. I like that, hard hodl. That's a great question. That's a great thing to specify. It is more difficult for other countries to get to 1 Bitcoin, but still, even if it is difficult to get to 1 Bitcoin and there's that unit bias, man, it still kind of holds. Maybe not 1 whole Bitcoin, right? But what would be the equivalent in different countries, right? I know 1 Bitcoin is going to be unattainable soon. Might already be for certain people, right? But just because it is unattainable at this point, and Bitcoin is not even at 100K, people should still be struggling to get to that 1 Bitcoin, right? Like, there's no reason not to, right? If you're in one of these countries and you can't, and you can't even get close to one Bitcoin, right? Like, for example, our show, we're at 0.15 Bitcoin, right? We're at 0.15 Bitcoin. But just because we're not going to get to 1 Bitcoin doesn't mean we're not going to keep trying. And we're going to keep trying all the way until we get as close to that as possible before Bitcoin hits 100K, right? And it's going to go 100K and beyond, right? But as long as Bitcoin is below 100K, we're still early, right? Even after it hits 100K, we're still early, right? It's just the mindset of, should I forego an experience that's going to come and go in exchange for the scarcest thing you can own, Satoshis, that'll be there forever, beyond us and in the wallets of our descendants, right? That's how big the choice is, right? So, yeah, I'm going to stick to it. If you're not at 1 Bitcoin, you shouldn't be out there celebrating. Get to 1 Bitcoin. or your stacking goal. How's that, hard hodl? Get to your stacking goal, my friends. Okay? All right. So, with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the SATS show. But remember, until then, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later, guys.